Hello everyone and welcome to my Ring of Elysium settings video. This is going to be linked to my Twitch channel, so if someone comes into the channel and is wondering what my settings are, you can come right to this video and see all my settings. Let's go over to the settings tab here. I just switched from Windows 7 to Windows 10 to use DirectX 12, so I do have this enabled. I do seem to get better constant frame rates with this, so I would suggest trying this if your GPU supports it. My window mode, I'm going to use full screen. 1080p is my resolution. Always have VSync off. My FOV is going to be maxed 103. Graphics quality, I use low. Standard anti-aliasing and low sharpen. Now the reasons for this is back on Mountie on the snow map, I used to use standard graphics quality and standard anti-aliasing, and if you go from low settings to standard, you will have a increased sight range. You can see further than 450 meters. When low, you can only see up to 450 meters, and then beyond that you cannot see. Me coming from standard settings and then on the Europa map, seeing that the map was a little bit harder to run and I just wanted to get more FPS, I switched to low, and I've been using low for a couple seasons now, and I don't really see anything wrong with it. Sure, there's going to be some times where you do not see a drop or a glider that's super far away, but getting the most FPS and being able to still see most everything, 450 meters is decently far and is well within the range of where most of the time you're going to be shooting at people. So don't worry about switching to low if you want to get the extra FPS. I recommend it. On the Europa map, standard anti-aliasing, that's just personal preference. And sharpen, I have it set to low. The reason that I have it set to low is because if you up the sharpness, the longer that you play, your eyes are going to strain faster. The more sharp that images are and you're just staring at these sharp images, your eyes are trying to pick everything up and scan all these images over and over and over very fast. And when the images are more detailed and sharp, it's going to wear your eyes out quicker. So that's my reasoning for that. Let's go on over to the sound, have the music off. I have HRTF on and also the 3D audio on. So coming over to these settings here, I do have the show reload progress bar on. I do enjoy that. Show network latency, I have this turned off because I already know what my latency is normally, and I just think it looks tacky in the game. I already know generally what my network latency is, and also I don't ever trust like in-game settings like that. They're not always super accurate. So moving down here, I use toggle ADS mode. This is personal preference, but for me, the reason that I like toggle ADS, and I've used toggle ADS for a very long time, is because I like to be precise. And in toggle ADS, all I need to do is press my mouse one time, and I know exactly the result that I'm going to get. If I press the mouse one time, I know I'm going to scope in. If I tap it one more time, I know I'm going to scope out. There's not going to be any in-between errors or, I just know exactly what I'm going to get out of every single result. When I click the mouse, I know what's going to happen. For me, I think that fits my playstyle better because I just want to know exactly what's going to happen, and it helps me in firefights because, yet again, like I said, I know exactly what's going to happen when I click that mouse. There's no there's no in between. So moving on down here, always kind of you want to turn off your auto peek, because this is just going to get you shot. Some people are going to be able to see you leaning, and then if you try to auto peek them, you're just sitting still and your head's out and they can tell where your head's going to be. You don't really want to use auto peek. It's not the end of the world if you do use it. If you can get away with it, using it on trees and stuff like that, I don't know. I recommend not having it on. So Another thing you're going to want to change is display glow effects to opponents. You want to definitely turn this off. What this does is some of the characters in Ring of Elysium have glowing effects on them, and say you're in the last final zone or something like that, you're going to be easier to see if you leave this on, so always turn that off. Randomized loading screen, they just added that in. That's cool. You should turn that on, if you want to. So let's go into the final settings here, which is sensitivity, and this is a warning. I use very high sensitivity. I've been using very high sensitivity my entire gaming career, pretty much. I'm using general sensitivity of 60, and my DPI is 1250. So I understand there's going to be a lot of people out there who are going to try to tell you that lower sensitivity is better. It's all personal preference. Whatever works for you. I've been able to make this work for me. At the very end of this video, I will share a clip of me playing CSGO and just my reaction time to being able to turn on someone and just hit accurate shots on them. It works for me. And I know there's going to be a lot of people, who want to use lower sensitivity. My suggestion to you is always trying to bump your sensitivity up, or get it to where it's comfortable, but always try to be working and testing it. And because in my career of just playing games, I basically have always used high sensitivity because I like the freedom of movement. I like to be able to turn on someone really fast. I'm a wrist player, so I like quick, like jerky movements, or like quick scoping someone or just flicking onto someone. That's what I like high sensitivity for. If someone's shooting behind me and they don't kill me right away, I'm gonna turn on them real fast. Like, my reaction is just gonna be very quick. So these are my sensitivities. Pretty basic. Now, this is a huge one. Vertical sensitivity ratio. When people come into my Twitch chat all the time and ask how they can improve on the game, this is one of the biggest features that I tell them about. Vertical sensitivity ratio. I think this is default to like 90 or something. They've changed it, but I suggest you keep bumping this up. You might not want to go straight up to the top like fast right away. You might want to just keep inching this up. But what vertical sensitivity ratio is just your up and down. It's going to be faster than your left and right sensitivity when you're in the game. Now, the reason that you want to mess with this is because there's a lot of guns. The most powerful guns in the game, like the FAMAS, have tons of recoil. And changing your vertical sensitivity ratio higher, which means a smaller movement going up and down, is going to be like a lot faster and a lot more intense than going your normal sensitivity left and right. And this will affect your moving. Just walking around and looting, you'll notice that you'll be a little wonky at first because you're going to be trying to compensate for looking up and down faster than left and right. But the reason you want to mess with this, and the reason you want to test this and keep trying to bump it up as high as you can over time, is because when you're using weapons with high recoil like the FAMAS, what it means is when you're shooting and the recoil is making your gun go up, you have to pull down on your mouse less in order to keep your mouse steady in the center of your screen and shooting straight. This is, like I said, one of the biggest things I always tell people when they come into my chat and ask me for tips. Go into the setting, mess with it. You don't want to go up too fast. I just put mine on 126 and I've never changed it. I have my shot down with this and I don't really want to change it. And basically the last settings that I'm going to tell you about is you want to use everything to your disposal. And as you see here, I have bandages and first aid kits on the two buttons near my thumb on my mouse. This is yet again because, like I said, it comes down to combat. Whenever I'm in combat and I need to heal, I can, without even having to touch, like move my finger much at all, I can always first aid or I could always bandage. It's just way faster than having to move my hand over a little bit on the keyboard. It's just personal preference. I mean, however you are most comfortable doing it, that's what you want to do, is you want to be comfortable in combat. And for me, I think just you don't want to have keys on your mouse that are very easily to click and not set them to something. And for me, being able to heal and having that right here on my thumb, it's a pretty big change. And I never used to always do that, but after I made that change, I don't know how I went that long without utilizing these buttons. So that's my last suggestion to you guys. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns or whatever about the video, if you want to ask me more stuff, why I have something a certain way, just more tips in general, if you want me to make a complete guide to the game or just tips about the game, I can do that. I just want to make sure that there's people out there who want that. But these are just my settings. Pretty basic stuff. I know it's a pretty long video for just basic stuff, but I wanted to go in more like detail about why, not just here are my settings and that's what they are. I wanted to go and explain a little bit more into it. So hopefully you guys appreciate that, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.